Hello there. Good morning. Welcome to Today Monday. Monday's Daily Dominion, which is a adventures slash base board. Now we don't have either the travelers, which maybe would kick this up a little bit. We do have, and we have a lack. Let's see. So I think artificer's only real net gains we're getting here. Well, I guess bureaucrat. If you want to gain silvers or golds, you can do bureaucrat and mine stuff. Anyway, there are a lot of cantrips, various cantrips, so training should be quite good. And you can like gain them. So there's probably a couple ways you can go with the training. You could probably either do poacher or merchant. With merchant, you'll have to play the silver, which maybe is undesirable and makes it a little. I mean, sometimes with merchants, really, you probably want more than one silver, at least for this kind of deck where it's not perfectly clean. Alternatively, you can just do the poachers. Either one of those can be gained with artificer. Merchant is a little easier to gain. So 3 versus 4. I don't know how much that'll matter with artificer. You're not getting big hand. Like if you had some draw here, then it would make a difference because you could gain like multiples of the merchants, but without a way to increase your hand size, I'm not sure that that's so important. The 3 versus 4, it could matter, but beyond that, it's not impossible that we take spend 2 buys on pilgrimages if we already have the artificer and the poacher. Though a third gain isn't super clear, so we can trash. I mean, obviously that'll run the risk of just having the points down a little bit, but this is a pretty good open. We get the chapel. I mean, that's huge, and we get at least one estate trash, which should help. This misses, which is pretty unfortunate. So I'm trying to think. We do want to hit. I think I'd take a silver. I mean, honestly, you could do a dungeon. I mean, it's just I don't really like dungeon here that much. Maybe later, but get the trashing, then it's just not. So now the question is, do we buy the training first or do we buy the artificer first? I guess we buy the training because then the next time we play the poacher, we're pretty likely to get there. Again, this is not at all what we want. Honestly, I almost want to just wait and buy a poacher here and then just see if we can draw more coppers later. What's the alternative? The alternative is we don't have the artificer yet, right? So, okay, so they've got a gold. So they're moving a little bit. We get another couple trashes here. I guess at some point we can think about not trashing an estate. I don't know. I do feel like we need to buy artificer now. Okay. I guess the bot's going down to 0 as well, so it's all right. It's really probably more valuable here to do the trash. I was gonna say you could get a poacher, but it honestly is probably better to just trash the coppers and buy a poacher. Alternatively, you could trash 2 coppers and buy province. That's not gonna last you too terribly long. I'm trying to think if we trash. See, the thing is, where's the window where we can actually gain stuff with the artificer? We trash these cards. Pretty weird. I don't know how well this is gonna work, being perfectly honest with you. Across the whole, we could, like, if we do this, how overdrawn would we? 1, 2, 3. We'd have 3 stop cards, so we'd be good for at least 2 provinces, which isn't crazy. Then beyond that, we could whiff. So if we gain a poacher in the meantime, I don't know if we'll have the hand size to do it though, right? That's the problem. Okay. So the question is, can we just discard here and still draw everything? We can't guarantee it, but it's like pretty good odds of still making 8. Nope. Well, that's not great. We could take a duchy. I don't know if they'll miss, well, they'll miss province at some point, but this is our problem, or a problem with this deck. I don't know if we want another artificer to up the chances of getting duchies later. We can get our 4th poacher, which is nice, because then we can just play the poachers and it just greens. Okay, that's not so bad. They just get gold there. Okay. That's probably workable. We don't really have... Yeah, this is weird. I think the merchant certainly would have been a lot less awkward as far as this all goes. So what I said about 4 versus 3 didn't fully work out as being true, though it's not like crazy bad either. I mean, we could honestly take a merchant. We had the silver. I didn't really think about that. The thing here about taking poacher is that we have to trigger the shuffle. So it would have... Well, it would have 2... It's okay now, right? We don't have... It's all right now because we don't have enough... We don't have that many stop cards. There's just a chapel in here. Okay, this is probably fine if that's all the bot's doing on that turn. This should be okay. So now we can, like, I think I would just take a artificer. We don't have to really take, and this is closer to the point where a dungeon might be useful. So the dungeon decreases your hand size the turn you play it. We really don't want to run the poachers out because then we have a discard issue, which we cannot, that's not doable, but we can get some merchants and stuff, really. Or another artificer also. It's fine. I guess probably if all we're gaining is another or one more card, artificer would have been better. I don't know what I have left here. I'm just going on because the bot is, whatever the bot's doing isn't gonna work. Now they're gaining coppers with artificer, so it just doesn't matter at this point. We'll just add artificers. If it were closer, we would be able to gain some duchies. We almost miss 8 here. We can either wait and see if we draw another artificer after playing the poacher, or we can gain like a merchant now. So this is like a little bit better. The duchy is probably bad, but it doesn't matter. This is like close to 50. Does silver on top already win? Yeah, it does. So that was weird. I didn't think the AI's deck was great, but I didn't think it was that bad. And then of course I start getting the coppers, and that's broken. That thing that's still bugged. There's something in the AI about the gaining of the cheap cards that's still just bugged. I mean, there hasn't been an update to the AI in quite some time, as far as I'm aware. So, all right, well, that played out kind of how I wanted. I mean, my early jobs were not super good. I might have tried it again with the merchant. I mean, again, if we just play it from the undo, we're mostly just probing the this particular RNG seed, which I think is not that informative, but the another big aspect of the poacher versus merchant is the opening, which Poacher Chapel is a reasonable opening. Silver Chapel would be what you wanted to open for the merchant, but Poacher Chapel is a little better for the trashing. And you wouldn't open Merchant Chapel. That's just not doing that much for you. I don't think you would anyway. I think if you're going the merchant angle, if you thought, oh, I'm going merchants immediately, you would do a silver. And if the chapel collides with the silver, you just get a little bit less trashing. Yeah, I didn't quite find the right. I think this should be at least like a turn faster. On average, not just on draws, but I think I didn't quite get the trashing and the gaining lined up perfectly the way it could be played. We can see what happens with it's funny, I can also probe whether I should buy the silver first or the chapel first. Like, this seems to be pretty good. Except that makes the chapel miss, right? Yeah, so like then you can go back and you say, oh, what I really meant to do is buy this chapel first, of course. Oh, wow. Incredible. This is what I mean by some of the like RNG stuff. Like there's so much of this replaying where you're just poking at this exact shuffle, which isn't, as I said, that informative. You can see kind of the ways in which this is maybe a little cleaner than the poacher run, but I don't think that's like telling us a whole lot about. And now look, the bot has got a vassal this time. Again, the bot is so chaotic as far as, I don't know if it's like a response to what player is doing. I don't really think it's that. I think I'll go ahead. Well, no, we should probably trash. This is kind of where I was on the last one, though. Again, like I said, it's easier to it's far easier to gain the merchants. We're gonna be able to hit 8 anyway, I think. There's we also have a choice here between trashing or caning a merchant. We can't quite do both. Not yet anyway. It's probably better to trash. We'll see if we ever hit the issue with the merchants, which is not finding the silver. Also, there is that difference of having to keep the silver in hand, so it's not, you can't really gain duchies. I mean, we're at a spot where that doesn't matter. particularly, but it is something that could matter. You can play 4 poachers and buy province and discard your whole hand to do the duchies. You can't do that with the merchants. You would have to play, enough of just merchants and artificers to get the $8, which isn't impossible either, particularly if you consider that you're able to gain, so many more merchants. But it's, still a difference that could be harmful. This here, again, I may go, well, if you discard, you're already just like, you might as well put a merchant on top and see. Yeah, so like we fail to get to the province there, but we'll get it next turn guaranteed. We can just buy estate. See, like here, we actually hit 8 of the peddlers, so we can do duchy, but I didn't look at the turn or anything. That certainly in the start was running a little cleaner. But again, I'll repeat myself, but I'm not sure that it says anything about merchant versus poacher so much as it says something about the shuffle. Also, I just explicitly RNG cheated to get the chapel on turn 2 instead of turn 3 instead of turn 5. So, take that for what you will. Anyway, thanks for watching. Pretty interesting board. Not a whole lot going on, but still some nice. I kind of like these. It's like clean. The kind of the things you're thinking about are pretty clear. Not overly complicated, but not so boring that there's nothing to do. So, nice kingdom. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you tomorrow.